We live. We are. Okay. Do me a favor and just ignore the dude crying. Let's start over. Good morning. I felt lonely and now I'm doing a video. That's all. It's gonna be mostly just me talking and then doing some work on the site because I just felt like, well, I didn't feel like doing the work, I just felt like talking to somebody. In this case it is YouTube apparently. And basically, so what's happening right now? I'm just cabling, just showing these things to earth the solar panels, which you can see behind me. I can give you a round view on some other time, another time. Basically, the last 2 days have been shit. And with last 2 days, I mean today and yesterday. Being shit basically because, first of all, yesterday I short-circuited my battery setup for the solar panels. 1,900 euros worth of LFP batteries, by the way. Not on purpose, of course. Just say I was a bit naive and a bit stupid. Should still be fine, hopefully. But it definitely gave me a little bit of a mental shock for a bit. Which is, I think, to be expected, because I didn't expect to short-circuit them. Who would have thought? I didn't mean to. And to make things worse, yesterday night, one of my 3-month-old ducklings disappeared. I had no idea where to. This morning, however, I found out where to. Because before I thought ducks were pretty much immune to minks. Don't know why, but in the first mink attack that happened a year ago, all my chickens survived. Not my chickens, all my ducks survived. And all my chickens plus the rooster were dead on the attack. So I just thought, hey, ducks seem to be immune for some reason. The mink doesn't care about them too much. And yeah, that was it. So it turns out 3-month-old ducklings are just small enough for him to still want to kill them. So I caught him in the act this morning of trying to actually killing one of my ducklings, my 3-month-old ones. And that was after he killed one already. So I lost one bird yesterday night, one bird this morning, and then I caught him killing another bird this morning. I caught him and, well, I managed to stop him before he could actually kidnap the bird. However, the damage has been done. His neck had been absolutely crushed or bitten through, just a major artery, and he couldn't breathe anymore. He was bleeding heavily. I couldn't really find the origin of the bleed, but he was dead. Like, literally tried to save him in some way by trying to find out where the fuck he was bleeding from, but he couldn't get any air. He did zero noise. I think his windpipe was completely crushed. So that happened, and obviously I was presented with dead bird, and because I do not like to waste meat, I ended up slaughtering him. I still don't have a proper setup, so I need to get my cook pot and scald him in literally my cooking pot. Was alright, however, obviously I didn't intend to slaughter him already, so there was not as much meat on him as I would have liked to have, basically wasting it. Like literally a month from now he would have had a nice amount of meat, because right now they are growing the fastest and setting on meat and everything, but yeah. So I had to do this that morning. And in a frenzy, obviously, I locked up all my ducks. And yeah, like they were totally safe there. However, they're not used to being in at daytime. So the big birds, my original flock, kept harassing them, because obviously they all didn't want to be in there. And the easiest target is obviously the young ones. So I let the big ducks out again after a few hours, after completely skinning and slaughtering the dead duck. So I let all those out again. I still left the young ones in there. And now I transferred the young ones into the other enclosure, where there's 2 drakes from last year, which are long overdue for slaughtering. So they're in there now, together with the chickens and the 2 slaughter drakes. I hope they get along. They're still in the house right there. I have opened the doors, but that was like half an hour ago, and I think they are still inside. It's good, because then they get used to that inside being a safe space. And that's good, because obviously I want them to go inside there at night. Hoping they actually do that. Obviously they won't voluntarily get inside there once they've learned how nice that area that they have is. But yeah, it'll take them some convincing this night for sure. Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. So my head seems to be in disarray ever since yesterday. I also thought today would be Wednesday, not Wednesday. I thought today would be Thursday instead of Wednesday. And because I thought it was Thursday, I went and picked some broccoli for a nice old lady who comes on Thursdays. Comes every Thursday without fail, pretty much, and purchases 6 chicken eggs and some broccoli. And some other vegetables if she's feeling up to it. So yeah, so I went ahead and picked those after sorting everything else, and then wondered why she wasn't coming, because she usually arrives around 2 or close to 3 o'clock. Well, turns out it's Wednesday and she isn't coming until tomorrow. It's not like I wasted the broccoli, but obviously I picked it a day early, which wasn't ideal, because then it isn't as fresh anymore. She won't mind too much, but just it adds up. All of it literally adds up. Just fucks with you. It's just frustrating. You think about one thing and in your mind you're like, sure, that'll be fine, and then it just adds up and you make more mistakes and more mistakes. Really hasn't been the greatest 2 days. Of course I'll get over it, but right now, just bad. It is just bad. So, that's been me for the past 2 days. So in terms of solar setup, as you can see, panels are here. The inverter is here as well. I also buried the cable already. And I'll get you a proper breakdown one of those days when I'm feeling up to editing a video again. Gotta be honest, not feeling up to it right now. Not feeling up to it. I want to get solar sorted first, completely, and that's still... It's not that far away actually, but it's just a lot of things that I need to wrap my head around again. It's really not much. It's grounding the panels, which I'm doing right now while talking. It is connecting all the cables and battery to the inverter. And then connecting all the cables to my fuse box inside the house. And if it were as easy as just connecting the cables, then I wouldn't be so worried about it. But it is a little bit more than just connecting a few cables here and there. It takes time, it takes knowledge, and time is literally all I have. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the knowledge. Right now I'm literally just following every single word that a random internet stranger who I've been in contact with for the past 2 months is saying to me. Because he's collecting karma that way. I respect it, because I wanted to compensate him for all the information and all the questions that he answered me, but he said he would be fine with just collecting karma points, as in literally doing a good deed for a fellow human. And I believe in karma. I strongly believe in karma. It'll come back to him for sure. It'll definitely come back to him. So yeah, that's the situation with that. Pretty much. What else? So my friend was here for a week. And yeah, we managed to get all the solar panels up. It was nice. It was still a ton of work. And I decided, hey, you know, we did this much work. Let's have a day off. But then I also decided, hey, you know, we said when you came here that we wanted to climb a mountain together. And I figured, let's just do it on the day off. You know, how hard can it be? Well, it was a 8-hour trip altogether, as in we got dropped to the foot of the mountain. Took us, how long did it take us? I think roughly 1.5 hours to get up to the peak. And then we sat there for half an hour, had some breakfast, or lunch at that time. And then it took us another 1.5 hours to get down. You'd think that going down would be faster. But if it's a steep mountain, you know, if it's steep, then it actually takes just as long as it takes to get up. Just because it really goes onto your knees and legs, you know, just going on a steep angle downhill. Really takes a toll on your body. And then, obviously, because that wasn't enough, we didn't have a ride back. Or rather, we thought, that'll be alright. If we have the ride to the foot of the mountain, we can make it back. And yeah, so that way back took us another 3.5 hours, I think. So all in all, we were close to 8 hours away. But yeah, if you watched my last video, you know, the informative video, basically another form of what I'm doing right now, you're gonna notice how I didn't talk about the 39 ducklings, you know, the ones that were, how old were they at the time? I think 3 to 4 weeks old that time when I did the video, maybe even younger. So those idiots, you know, since 4 mothers hatched at the same time. So what basically happened is those 4 mothers hatched all of the ducklings in the span of a week. So I had 39 ducklings, which were all around the same age, literally just 1 week apart. And since there were 4 mothers, and you know, ducklings all mingle together. They mingle together at night and they search for the most dominant mother, literally, to give them warmth at night and stuff. You know, they don't care who does it for them. They're little bitches like that. So no mother really had any ownership over their ducklings. And what happened then is basically they just started to spread out into everywhere. They just started to spread out. Spread out so far that they decided, hey, we are gonna hop through the fence, through the little gaps in the fence, and just fuck off somewhere else. Explore the world. You know, good on them, good on them. Either the fox at the time, or actually the mink, might have actually been the mink, started catching those, kidnapping them, killing them, and then leaving the body somewhere. You know, it's what minks do. They're bastards. They're just bastards. So one day I started noticing, hey, it's not 39 anymore, it's 38 now. Well, that can happen. Day later, still 38. Okay, maybe it was a one-off. Maybe it was a one-off. Maybe I miscounted. Maybe we are fine. A day later, 2 gone. My friend is here at that time. 2 gone. Just nowhere to be found. Searched all my property. Searched around the edges. Nothing. Well, something's happening. Day later. 4 more ducklings are gone. Well, at that time I'm trying to get rid of them, you know, trying to sell them as fast as I can, but obviously people aren't necessarily always on the lookout for people who really want to get all the ducklings sold as fast as possible. So I didn't get many responses. So me and my friend did our best to, you know, just have a look at them, have a look out for them, and whenever they decided to squeeze through the fence, just catch them, get them back in. Since there were so many, They just constantly did it. They just constantly escaped. Again and again and again and again. So one day we count them at night. 7 less than the day before. 7 disappeared in one day. 7. So that was fun. At that time though, one of the local guys here who got me the Drake that I still use, that's still here. The one to basically be the parent of all my babies. The father of all of them, I should rather say. He reached out to me and said, listen, I see you're having a problem. There's Michael going on tomorrow. And Michael is basically a poultry fair up in Carlo. Not too far away from here. Maybe 45 to an hour drive at most. But obviously I don't have a car yet. So I could not attend. Like, how the fuck would I do it without a car? I'm not gonna start trekking there with all my ducks in hand overnight. So he said he offered for me to give him the ducks and he would try to sell them. You know, really, really nice move of him. So I took him up on his offer, and he managed to sell all of them, all in one go. Really, really glad he offered me that, because if he didn't, then I would have literally lost all of those 39 ducklings, one by one. I would have just lost more and more every single day. And obviously, I said, hey, listen, you just got me 115 euros for all the ducklings, because I said, listen, try to sell them at €5. More is obviously perfect, but less is totally acceptable as well. I need to get rid of them, or they're just gonna die anyways. So yeah, I said, listen, you just got me 115 euro for selling all those. Take at least 15 for your kindness, just for your services, as a thank you. And he said, oh, no, I'll be alright. Just give me 5 or something like that. So I gave him 5 euros out of my 115. So yeah, that happened. So at that point I could finally breathe again, because even though I wanted to raise a lot of those ducklings, I just couldn't. And it's another lesson to be learned, that if you have that many ducklings, you should try to get rid of them as soon as possible. Because the mothers had, like I said, 0 control over them and just couldn't handle it. Like, Muscovies are ridiculously good mothers. But even those mothers could not handle a ballpark of 39 ducklings just squirming around everywhere, getting lost at every single second. They can handle smaller numbers just fine, up to a certain age, just around 1.5 months, 1.5 to 2 months. That's when they get really explorative and just go everywhere. But at that point, they are big enough to not be able to slip through the cracks anymore. of a fence. At one point, however, it might have literally been just the mink. And the mink, as I have learned countless times, he doesn't give a fuck about my fence. He could have easily, and I mean easily, just hopped the fence, killed the birds, kidnapped them, and fucked off again. Yeah, it might have just been the mink. Might have just been the mink. In that case, if it was the mink, and not them just going somewhere else, completely going missing, then it'll happen again. I'll see. Guess I'll find out. The only real thing that I could do would be to relocate the ducks, you know, the fresh mother, if they were to have some new ducklings, them to the chicken enclosure. And then again, those, I mean, I guess it would be a try, maybe, I don't know. Just so stupid. I just, you know, I set out a trap for the mink, and I just really, really hope he comes back tonight in the hopes for more ducks to kill or something, and sees the trap that I laid out, which is literally the severed duck head and some meat. I really need to slaughter that drake. He just keeps raping the poor other guy who's in the enclosure with him. It's been like that for months. I feel really sorry for him, but there's literally nothing I can do. Yep, I gotta intervene, or else they'll kill themselves. Be right back. Okay. I'm back. So basically what's happening there is one of the drakes, not gonna lie, the better looking one, has established himself as the alpha, at least from the pecking order under those two. So he's obviously horny, as is every drake who is over a certain age. But since there are no other ducks around, the only other alternative he has is the other duck that's still in the enclosure with him, which is also male. Yeah. However, he obviously doesn't really prefer to being mated. And so he tries to get away from him, obviously. They do, however. They are protected by an electric fence, and they still try to get away from, well, the drake, the lesser drake, I could say, tries to get away from the other drake, and so he'll obviously charge right into the electric fence, and in the attempt of still trying to get away from him, because he's right up his ass in the literal sense. So he's struggling and getting farther into the electric netting, which is not the best choice, so to speak. It's not because of the electric shock or anything, it's literally because if they struggle hard enough in the electric netting, they get tangled. And because they get tangled, they struggle even harder, flap their wings and everything, and try to push through, with however any means possible. And then they strangle themselves, which is how the last drake died, who was in there with them. That drake I found a few hours after it suffocated, and then I had to slaughter it as well. Unexpected. You know what I mean. I didn't expect to have to slaughter a drake at that day, so it's all a process of trial and error, and try to find solutions to the problems that I have. Most of those solutions involve me just straight up killing all the excess drakes that I have. And that's gonna be possible as soon as I have the electricity set up. Meaning the solar system and everything, and it's actually working and all connected and ready to use. Because then I'll actually get a big freezer, and then I'll put it in the shed, and then I can actually store the meat from the ducks that I'm gonna slaughter. Because right now I cannot. All I have is a tiny fridge freezer, and that's pretty much it. So I hope that I'll be done with this, all of it, in the next 2 weeks. And then I have a freezer, set that all up, and then actually get to slaughtering the ducks. Yeah. It's almost devastating how slow things can move when you're alone. Because all you have is yourself. Which is why I was really glad when my friend came around and helped me set these up. Because these, with my friend, we set them up in 3 days. 3 full days. Without him, it would have taken me probably 2 weeks. At least. Probably 2 weeks. Which would not have been fun. No. Not really. There's also a lot of holding stuff in place, and just having someone hold something in place while you measure something it takes so much weight off your shoulders. Literally. So that was a real talk. I was thinking the other day of, doing another update video with solar and stuff. Still might do that. Like I said, I've been hella busy. And just unexpected stuff here and there I didn't plan for. How many is that? 2, 4, 6, 7. I need like 20 more of those. Well, not 20, how many is it? I got 12 panels. Counting that, we have 2, 4, 6, 7. I think that is 8. So I need 4 more for that. Then we have connecting the rails. 1, 2, 3, 4, and one long one. 4, that's 5. And then one that goes down here to this thing. That's 6. 6 plus 4. It's 10. I need 10 more. Basically. So yeah. Impromptu, whatever the fuck talk. That was pretty much me. Really spontaneous talk right now. By the way, I checked on the little birds. They're still inside the thingamajig, the house in the chicken enclosure. They are just chilling. They might just not come out until the end of the day, which I wouldn't mind. Which I would not mind. They are probably gonna come out at some stage though and get something to drink and eat. Probably. So yeah. Literally did not plan for any of this in terms of setting up the camera and everything. Literally seems to be my favorite word in these videos. Just in general, really.